Welcome, everybody. This is something that a lot of people have been asking for. You really did it. You started the show by just slurping right into the mic. You know, some people really hate that. Immediately,
I got a
I'm
good
gonna
mic
get
now.
comments about that.
Good.
Thanks.
To those people, you're welcome.
So, hope you all had a happy Easter if you do celebrate it, and if you don't, well, I hope you had a wonderful weekend as well. You know, everybody staying at home.
Me included?
Stay safe. Yeah, you too, man.
I haven't been,
Regrettably.
today
I
was
just
the
had a
first day I
politeness,
went
I'll
out
say
in 3 weeks.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
My hair is getting unruly. Anyway, back
Same.
on topic. We're here to talk about the Shadowverse anime. The first episode came out like a week ago.
Yeah, so, you know, while everybody is, confined to the four walls around them, why not watch some anime?
Yeah,
And
we were talking about this a little bit before we started recording. Apparently you have a lot of thoughts.
I have so many thoughts, and you're gonna call me a snob, but it's fine.
All right. Is this like a you're an anime connoisseur thing? So you've got peculiar taste. As you sip your green tea.
It's actually a Hawaiian tea. What's up?
That's nice. I've taken some notes as we've watched the first episode, and hopefully next time the next episode comes up, we'll have a video like this up a little sooner, closer to the release date. But from the comments I've had over the week, it's been very clear that people want us to talk about the Shadowverse anime. So here we are, we are the people's champion. We're here to give the content people want. So where do you want to start? Do you want to just talk about the episode front to back, or just spitball random thoughts? Or
we can spitball. So let's just cover a bunch of different topics, right?
Sure.
So the first one, we can finish up with our final thoughts for that for episode 1. I think that's pretty succinct.
Right.
So first, right off the bat, the characters for the show. What are your thoughts, man?
I mean, so far they all kind of have their one thing that they do. It is only the first episode, but they all kind of have a singular character trait.
Do they? Go
on. Current moment. You don't think so? So, the main character is just like, I love Shadowverse. I'm gonna play Shadowverse for the first time. This game is so fun. And then the villain for the episode is like, I hate all of you, and you're all weak, and I'm gonna beat you at Shadowverse, and I'm gonna take your phone or something. Whatever he was doing. Right? And then the sword friend is like, I'm terrible at this game, but I'm gonna help out the main character. He's like, like the Joey Wheeler, basically, right? So,
I'm trash, but you know what? I'll help you out, bud. I'll carry the statue for you.
No, yeah, they all have their own trope, I guess, is the right word.
Yeah, that's the word I want to use.
I want to say in terms of development, we didn't have a lot of time for that in the show. The pace was very breakneck for some reason.
Bam!
It just went event, battle. Didn't have a lot of time to get to know these characters. That's something I would have liked, actually. Slow down, maybe do the fight in the next episode, let some tension build or something. But I guess it is a game to promote the card game, right? So they want to get the card game in action right away. But yeah, I feel like we didn't get to know the characters really. But what about you? You seem like you have thoughts on the characters here.
Yeah, I think you hit the nail on the head. Everybody kind of has. I didn't really understand it when you said every character kind of plays a part in the very beginning, but as you explained it, I definitely agree. Main character is your spunky protagonist, kind of to be expected. There's the idol trope. There's the best friend who sucks trope. There's the bad guy who's he's probably a bad guy, but he's gonna become a good guy at some point.
Yes, as soon as I saw him, I was like, this is Vegeta. This is Vegeta. And then the guy who's menacingly hanging out at the jungle gym, that guy is the real bad guy for season
Kakarot.
1. The jungle gym, the most sinister place to loiter. That guy, he's got some evil intentions, but the first guy is just Small Fry, who becomes a reluctant hero in the end.
Do we have confirmation on how old these kids are?
I have no idea. I will say though, they are probably in high school, because most shonen anime have protagonists who are in high school.
There's no way those kids are that short being in high school.
But I don't know, man. They have pretty good upper body strength. You see the statues they were carrying for art class?
That is true. I'm assuming that the Coco and Mimi statue was just made out of styrofoam.
Yeah, and then the Humpty Dumpty statue.
Yeah.
And this school has to have an amazing budget for their art department. I'm serious.
Yeah, it's nice to see little things like that thrown in, which are kind of if you play the game, you already know. I do like that. That's one of the things I really did enjoy.
It is cool. I feel like some people were disappointed that the anime isn't directly adapting the story of the game, but it's meant to showcase the card game itself, right? And you can't really do that when the story in the game itself doesn't have any card game elements at all in it. It's just a straight up fantasy show. So I feel like this was a fun way to do it while still like sprinkling in hints of, just that people who actually play the game can pick up on. Like, for example, I write in my notes here the bell ringer clock at the very beginning.
Yeah, I mean, again, they just sprinkle them into the story, right?
Right. I don't know if you took any notes like while you were watching the episode or anything, because I have like a whole thing on screen right now of stuff that I kind of want to bring up.
Show us your notes, coward.
Okay, so first of all, right, they're in a
no. Show us your notes.
You want me to? I don't know about this. Okay, this episode, but we're not doing the behind the scenes just yet. Okay. So,
yeah. To your point though, the how you said that, you can't really adapt it to the anime if you want to like show off the card game. That's true. Although I will say this, there's a hint that the protag's father is a Portalcraft.
Yeah,
Portalcraft guy.
I was gonna say, like, literally within like 20 seconds of the episode starting, we had a flashback to his ghost dad, and I'm like, kind of giving me Keeper vibes.
exactly
like
that.
Yeah. Also, I just want to say, so okay, let me just go through my notes here. First of all, the first thing that came to my mind is the bell ringer clock. It's the first thing we saw. Then the holographic newspaper, which cements the fact that this is set in that pseudo future that pretty much all card game anime are set in, where people still go to high school and learn stuff, but everything's holographic for some reason.
It's the future. Sometimes it's dystopian. Sometimes it's just not so distant future. I think we got not so distant this time.
One thing that I am I don't know how to feel about, right? I don't know if I like it or not like it, is that this society doesn't seem to revolve entirely around the card game, like in Yu-Gi-Oh, where the entire society revolves around playing Yu-Gi-Oh.
That's true. The fact that nobody just has an island that they can just fly a bunch of kids out to
Right.
while they're like 30 years old is just gives me a bit of side eye.
Yeah. The one thing though I will say is that there's some elements of that, so I don't know which way they want to take it, because in the high school, in the classroom, I don't know if you recall, but instead of desks, they just have hollow tables where they can play Shadowverse. And then the teacher comes in, and he's like, "Why are you guys playing Shadowverse?" It's like, why is this classroom installed with just tables that play Shadowverse if we're not meant to play Shadowverse?
No, you gotta look closely. I think what they have is they have like the little like structures that like does all the holograms for them.
Oh, but they just put those on the corners of the tables or whatever.
Yeah, or they go out to the stadium. Where can I just take a step back and admire the fact that most of the budget of the first episode was used up in the scene where the stadium comes to life.
Yeah, that stadium is pretty cool. It reminds me a lot, like, I mean, there's a lot of parallels to Yu-Gi-Oh here, obviously. It does remind me a lot of, like, Kaiba Core stadiums and whatever. I just feel like it's kind of strange how, obviously, in the Yu-Gi-Oh universe, there's Kaiba Core stadiums and everything, because inexplicably, the entire society revolves around this card game. Here it just seems like it's a thing that happens, which I think is... It feels more grounded in a way. That's weird to say about, a Shadowverse card game anime, but yeah. Like, the entire society doesn't just revolve around it, but there's still a stadium, so, half and half, I guess.
Yeah, to be honest, and so here's the thing, right? I do my best not to, like, just compare it to Yu-Gi-Oh! But at the same time, I mean, the king of games is also the king of card game shows, right?
I mean, it is kind of fair. It's the one that people, think of the most, or think of first when they think of card game anime, so, yeah. There's a lot to compare it to.
What I do wish, though, was that they leaned in a bit harder, because to your point, like you said before, it's very grounded still, right? Like the main character is begging his granddad for a cell phone.
Yeah.
That's also one of the reasons I think that kid is definitely in middle school.
Also,
but
did this guy never go? This is my notes. Did he never go into this shed that was literally next to his house, ever?
Apparently not. Or again, we lean into the tinfoil hat theory that his father is a keeper, came into reality, plopped it right down right there, and just bounced.
This is a bit heavy for the first episode.
Deadbeat keeper dads.
Deadbeat keeper dads. Heard it here first. Also, I just wanted to say his grandpa looks uncannily like Heihachi from Tekken.
Yes, he does.
He looks exactly like Heihachi.
I expect his grandfather to beat the crap out of somebody at some point. Just like no card game, just beat the crap out of some kid.
So
Not
actually,
even feel bad about it.
We're kind of jumping around a lot. Well, I guess this first episode is rough and ready. We'll figure it out as we go along. No worries about that. But I kind of took the notes as I was watching the episode. So, let's see. Bell ringer clock, weird pseudo future, Heihachi, the dad was instantly a ghost. Then the smartphone in a locked box with a dragon symbol on it.
I'm telling you, man, his dad's a keeper.
That's amazing. It's a hacked smartphone. It has a hacked card that nobody has except for him. That's crazy. This is not tournament regulation.
Can we talk about how good your dragon is, by the way?
Yeah, Ignis dragon, I know. Elephant in the room, we're finally addressing it. I made it into the anime, finally.
Can we talk about... Man. Who did you pay to get a card that busted into the game?
Yeah, somebody tried to figure out the effect, right? What was it? 7.35 evolve into a full stats, right? I think.
Yeah, 5/7.
When you have 2 or less cards in your hand, can evolve for 0 evolution points. So it's like a top deck card, basically. Strike,
yeah.
Deal 3 damage to all enemy followers, and then gain +5 attack when it's attacking the leader. That's pretty good.
That is beyond legendary. Like
that would be played in this meta. And you have to keep in mind the card game meta that they're showing on screen is like Rise of Bahamut meta, right?
Like way back in the day.
Yeah, it's Rise of Bahamut because they're playing cards like Latham Vanguard Captain, and they're going like, "Whoa, what an impressive card!" It's like I don't know, man.
Wait till they get to Kuon. Oh boy. I can't wait to watch one of the guys like just go top left. He just sees the Kuon drop, like, yeah, I'm out. Yeah. Shadowverse is not always, it's not over until the last turn. When they drop 2 Kuons, it's pretty much over.
Yeah, that's not a thing now though. Although I don't know if you saw the previews where there's the Rune guy, the guy who plays Rune, he says, "You will lose in 8 turns," and I'm like, "Yup. Sounds about right. That's Rune."
Perfect.
Remember, they still have Dimension Shift.
Oh, they do.
Yeah, so there you go. But not all of the characters are playing meta, clearly. While ignoring the main character who is straight up not playing a card that's in the game, there's also Forrest, who somehow lost to Sword when they have Roach. This is the height of Roach. This is Rise of Bahamut.
Well, consider the character playing. Like, the Idol Girl's definitely not going to be running like Roach. Come on.
Yeah, I guess.
That's
but
complete mismatch of themes right there.
She's just playing fairies with Okami. It's like, it's actually literally the basic deck.
Yeah,
like, This is maybe which really calls into question the skill of the Sword player here, who lost over and over and over to this person who's playing the basic deck.
We can't dunk on these fictional characters, man. Come on.
Come on. We can a little bit. I can especially dunk on the villain for the episode, who lost to a guy who's literally never played Shadowverse before. Which is hilarious.
Can we just call out the fact that this is the kid's first game of Shadowverse in his entire life?
Yeah, and he's already proving himself to be an amazing dragon main, man. Dragon Oracle on 2, top decking the card he needs. It's like he's totally got it down. So this kid's going places.
I can't wait till he starts playing Kakaitis.
Yeah. So
that'll be good.
Well, I had a lot of notes. Do you have anything that you wanted to bring up in particular regarding this episode?
Not really. My biggest thing is the fact that I really wish they leaned in more to the world just being kind of bonkers, right? Again, it feels very realistic, and I really want... So if you think about it, right, the first episode of a show is meant to kind of just hook you in, right?
Yeah.
So you have to see some wild and crazy stuff. And I'll be real honest. Again, I want the show to be successful, but I didn't see the kind of wild and crazy stuff that I really hoped to. Yeah, and maybe that's because I've been indoctrinated with Yu-Gi-Oh! And things like that. Because think about it, like, first episode of Yu-Gi-Oh! Is them fighting over a card that his granddad owns, where there's only 3 copies in the world, and he's fighting a guy who's literally a billionaire, and he beats him by playing the one card that he could draw that just wins the game instantly.
I mean, Yu-Gi-Oh! Is absolute insanity, so... I mean, like, season 1, like, original series Yu-Gi-Oh! Is like...
Yeah.
Egyptian,
it's not a card game.
Ancient Egypt, gods and kings, And then
Playing with slabs.
GX is Harry Potter with aliens. And then 5Ds is like Cyberpunk 2077. So, I mean, Yu-Gi-Oh! Is pretty insane. But I do agree, there's a lot of steps between normalcy and insanity, and it could lean a little more to the insanity side, right? Like I said, it's kind of weirdly half and half, where they have Shadowverse stadiums and giant statues of Humpty Dumpty, but everyone still just goes about their day and doesn't really address the fact that this card game seems to be permeating their society. I don't know.
Yeah, I really, again, I do wish they just lean in a little bit harder, and maybe that's what we'll see, right? Because episode 1, to your point, like you said earlier, they didn't really explore the characters so much, so we don't really know much about the world. We have like a faint idea. We've also got a faint idea about the characters' tropes and their roles, but again, like there's no story. We still don't know about his dad, and that's probably where they lean in a bit harder.
Right. Yeah. I think they're gonna develop that as it goes on. This main first episode is probably just to show people playing Shadowverse, and then trying to get people to play Shadowverse. That's kind of the point of these animes, right? Like, that's what Yu-Gi-Oh! Is for. And that's essentially what this is for as well. But I hope that it's, like, fun along the way at the same time. You know what I mean? And what I find interesting about that is that there's cards that aren't like, actually in the game that are in the anime, which is quite strange. So some people might come from the anime and play the game and be like, where's Ignis Dragon? Where's Axe Pirate? Like, where are these cards?
Yeah, I definitely don't think that's going to be the case. I don't think you're gonna be able to make that argument for very long.
Yeah, I think they'll add them in.
I would bet all the money in my pockets to all the money in your pockets that within the next 2 expansions we will have cards from the anime.
Like Ignis Dragon and Axe Pirate and whatever else.
Ignis Dragon's ability definitely gonna get changed.
I don't know, man. They can't do it. They can't do it.
They're gonna nerf Ignis Dragon's effect within the anime?
Yeah, I was just gonna say! You just brought this up, I didn't even think about this before. How are nerfs gonna happen in the anime, man? Is he just gonna open his smartphone and be like, why is my Ignis Dragon so bad now? What happened?
Why is it 10 cost?
My signature card, no! Yeah, that would be hilarious.
KMR is a harsh miser.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
But yeah, I think that's really my biggest critique of the first episode is that I really wish they would lean in harder, and I'm still trying to figure out who the show is aimed at. Is it aimed at people who like Shadowverse? Because there's like the nice little hints and jibes of like the Humpty Dumpty and like the Coco and Mimi statue, and then like the whole. Again, they spent their entire budget on like the fact that when you're playing the game, it looks super tight, right? Mm-hmm. So is it aimed at me or is it aimed at people who they want to get into the game?
I feel like mostly the latter, but a bit of the former. Like stuff like the Coco and Mimi and the Humpty Dumpty and whatever is like just to have the fans who actually already play go like, oh yeah, I recognize that. You know?
Yeah.
But I think the main purpose is just to try and get people to play. And it's working. I mean, I've gotten comments already that are like, I'm here because of the anime. I discovered this game because of the anime. I didn't even know this game existed until I watched the anime. So yeah,
seriously,
definitely it worked. Yeah, for sure.
All right. Marketing budget well spent then.
Couple more notes here. I was gonna say the guy is super excited that he has Shadowverse on his phone, even though the game is free. You could literally just download it.
This phone, could you imagine? This phone doesn't have Shadowverse. He just breaks it in half and tosses it in the trash.
No wonder the people on the bus are laughing at him. Remember this? He was like, I have Shadowverse on my phone, woohoo! And like everyone on the bus is like looking at him weird, like he's gone crazy. Like, this game is free, man. You can just install it.
It's you don't have to pay anything. Like,
yeah, and then the main character hair syndrome totally applies to this show.
It's understandable.
Yep.
It's anime. Come on, suspension of disbelief. That's fine.
I was gonna say also one note I took while watching is, please give me this game in VR so I can actually like play a card and then it gets summoned. I can see it. That would be amazing.
That is one thing, huh? Isn't it? Well, I know they've already hinted at creating a game for the Switch.
Yeah, they have a Shadowverse Champions Battle. We don't know a whole lot about it just yet. Just like a small little preview video so far, but no idea.
Imagine if you could play the game but do like the augmented reality bit, right? Where you could basically wherever you're like pointing your switches, like you have the board there and like you see your opponent's stuff. That'd be pretty neat.
Yeah, it would be. It would be. And I just want to like put on my headset and pretend that my cards are being summoned
Right
like
there.
a hologram. I think that'd actually be really
Right
cool.
there.
I feel like that's like an actual untapped niche. Actually have the cards show up like in my animes.
Well, here's the problem: nobody can go outside, so you you got to deal with the internet for now, man.
I'm just looking at my notes. All caps. Why have holographic Shadowverse in class if it's against the rules? That doesn't make any sense.
So in Japanese classrooms, like before the teacher comes in the morning, your homeroom teacher gets there. It's free reign. You could like
whatever.
punch a dude in the face. You can punch a dude in the face, rob a bank, scot free.
Okay. She lost to Latham lol in all caps.
Come on, man. Come on. You can't roast these kids. She barely knows how the game works, dude.
We actually covered most of the things in my notes just by naturally talking here. Oh, I will say, the phrase "battle Shadowverse," really trying to make that a thing. I think.
Yeah, that we could definitely polish that one up. You know what? I'm willing to give this rag right here to side games and then just like give it a little spit shine. Yeah, just a little bit of spit shine. It's actually clean up my tea that I spilled. So.
Oh no, the tea you were drinking at the beginning of the episode.
Still drinking it, buddy.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, they could definitely come out with anything else. I think Battle Shadowverse was, again, I think they were going for like the Japanese English sort of thing,
We're committed,
which is kind of popular. Yeah, but
we're committed.
Yeah, we could definitely season 2.
Season 2, you want to change it?
I have hope.
What do you want? Heaven or Hell, Duel 1, Let's Rock.
Heaven or Hell, Shadowverse.
That could work.
It definitely could.
He's been a dragon main for 1 day with no battles, and he's already roaring. Yes, I wrote that down. I noted that. I took a lot of notes, man. I had a lot of things to say. One thing that I did notice throughout the episode as well, something that you mentioned, like little hints for the people who already play Shadowverse. They use the Shadowverse sound effects, like the confirm sound.
Yeah, they do. You're absolutely correct. Like when they actually we're actually playing in game, like the sounds were actually from the in game. I guess that's to kind of give the people who are interested in it like familiarity when they go into the game, right? So for us, we know the game, and then we hear that in the show. For people just getting into Shadowverse, it will be the opposite, right? They see it in the show, like, oh, that's the same sound effects from the game. Okay, yeah.
So I guess one topic I wanted to ask is, how do you feel like they represented the game? Because they didn't actually show the full gameplay out, and one thing I noticed was that they literally didn't explain what evolution is, which is like pretty key. I was expecting like Mimori to go like, don't you know, protagonists, man, in Shadowverse there's this mechanic called evolution, but they didn't really explain that whatsoever. So I feel like people who are kind of new are not really getting what the game plays like, which I don't know if that matters, but I feel like if I didn't know how Shadowverse was played, I would just be watching the battle go on and be like, I don't know what's going on or what's happening.
Well, to be fair, I mean, they could they could lean into Yu-Gi-Oh route and just make up the rules as they go along, which is fine. Like if you want to just stab the moon and destroy all the water monsters, I'm cool with that.
Yeah, that would be fun.
But yeah, to the point that you made, like they explained wards before they explained evolution points.
Yeah.
And in a game where Shadowverse is kind of defined by the fact that it has the evolution point to kind of really mix up the battle strategies, you'd imagine they would have gone with that day one. Again, episode 1, evolution points over wards.
Yeah, I don't know about that, man. It's just I
agree.
They should have. I feel like they should have explained evolution. It's like the biggest thing that Shadowverse has over other card games, right?
Considering Hero's evolved Ignideus Dragon,
Yeah, right, exactly. I feel like they should, again, not to draw another comparison to Yu-Gi-Oh here, but it is kind of the gold standard when it comes to this kind of thing. I feel like they should just announce everything. It's kind of part of the charm, right? Like
that is true.
We already have Ore no Tan Doro. Like they already said that. Just go
Ore no Tan, yeah.
Just go full tilt. Go oh my goodness, his card is gonna deal 5 damage to my life point or whatever. Just go all in. I feel like I know they're trying to. I don't know. Not to make it just an absolute clone, but there are things that lessons you can learn from that make it more accessible. I feel like. Yeah.
Again, I mean, if it's marketing dollars that you're spending to get people to play the game, make it enjoyable to watch, and also explain all the important points of the game. Ward is sure it's important, but I think evolution might have trumped that in this case.
And definitely just make it more enjoyable to watch. I feel like that's a very valid strategy where you just make it so ridiculous people have to check the game out. Like
exactly that. Yes,
I need to see this. Yeah, exactly.
Literally just lean in. It's all you have to do is just like,
Yeah, right. Yeah. I will say though, one thing they did do is the classic, even though they're just playing a card game, when they're losing, they're like sweating, they're like breathing heavy, they're like
the wind, the dude got blown back.
Oh no, my followers, and he's like wiping the sweat, and he's like
You mean you don't sweat whenever you play Shadowverse?
No, I can't say that I do. Well, maybe when you're really stressed out. I mean, this is quite high stakes. He is stealing people's smartphones for some reason.
Yeah, I think he should just be reported to the police. I think that episode could have been solved with the authorities.
They just accept it too. They're just like, Mimori literally says, "It's my fault that I lost. I guess I just don't have my smartphone anymore." It's like, what? What?
Your parents are gonna just ask you questions? Like,
do you not know what? Smartphones can be used for other things than Shadowverse. You can call your parents. You can,
not in this society.
A whole range of other things, right? You could watch YouTube. YouTube.com/Ignideus. You could go there, learn how to play Shadow. You see what I'm trying to do here? But
do you have your own show coming out soon?
But I'm just saying, right? I feel like this guy stealing smartphones, he should be sent to juvie, frankly. He's got problems.
Also, I just want to double check. They didn't get the smartphone back at the end of the show. He lost it to somebody else.
Yeah.
So
that's kind of messed up. Like, he lost and then gave away somebody else's phone.
That's like, it's like borrowing your neighbor's car and then just giving it away.
Yeah, I don't know about that, man. I don't know about that.
Yeah, I wholeheartedly agree. That was a bit of side eye.
So I guess we've covered, like, outside of the battle. We've talked about how pacing is kind of weird. They didn't really develop the characters as much as we'd liked, but it is only episode 1, so
that's true.
Just finding its feet. And then in the battle, I feel like they could have explained stuff a little better, had the battle be more entertaining to watch and more explained to the audience as well. But overall, the quality of the battle animation I didn't think was too bad. Like, having the cards stay as like cards and then only becoming characters when they can attack. I thought that was a really interesting way to show how summoning sickness works. Like,
that's a good point.
When they play the card at first, it's still just like a card, and it's only when they can attack that it like pops out and becomes a character. Yeah, I thought that was pretty cool actually.
I didn't consider that, but yeah, that's a really good point.
Yeah, I thought that was really interesting. Like, that's a really neat way to show that the thing can't attack. Because otherwise people would be watching, like, who have never played Shadowverse, be like, why is this thing not attacking? You're standing there. Yeah, I thought that was really interesting visual storytelling. That was pretty inspired, honestly. So,
my hands off to them. That's actually very, very clever. I didn't think about that at all, but yeah, that's a good point you raise.
The rest of my notes is just roasting this battle that happened. Did you see the Reddit post that got like 300 upvotes? That's like, I fully analyzed the first battle in Shadowverse episode 1.
Reddit, no.
And he's gone insane because the battle doesn't make any sense. It's like,
Reddit, please don't. No.
So,
please, Reddit, no.
This guy just got hard countered by board clear and then played Mirage Defender and then passed. That's one of my notes. It was quite a sad duel.
I mean, it's day one, baby steps.
It's kind of representative though. Not all games are flashy and full of flair. Sometimes you just play Mirage Defender and pass, and that's all you can do.
What I think that they make it simple just so when you start the game of Shadowverse, your expectation is met, right? So let's imagine you just started Shadowverse today, right? After watching the anime. Like, wow, that was really simple. Like, they just attacked, they attacked. He played a card, couldn't attack that turn, it was a ward. All right, he evolved next turn, I get it, right? They don't want you to, day one, or like, they don't want you to see in the anime, like, all right, I'm going to play my hybrid Machina Natura deck with the Natura Almaginus, blow up half my hand, pull it back, play Natura Almaginus, he destroys something on the board, evolve him, play like half my hand at the same time. At the end of the turn, everyone gets +2/+2, and they're all wards suddenly now. Yeah, they got to manage expectations, though.
Yeah, that's true. I guess for this era, something like that would be Roach, You don't want to start the episode, and then Mimori is like, alright, I'm going to play Nature's Guidance, then I'm going to send this back, then I'm going to play it, and it's going to do 4 damage, then I'm going to play another one. And the sword guy is sitting there like, I just have quick bladers, man. I don't know what's going on. So maybe that's not like the best way to start off the first episode. That is a good point, yeah. What else? Oh yeah, top deck Igni on brand. The show really is capturing my essence here in terms of portraying me on the screen. There's a card called Igni, and it's a top deck card that gets played and wins the game. Feels good.
I just want to know how many Ignis Dragons. I'm just gonna call it Ignis Dragon. Like I'm not gonna call it Ignis Dragon.
I appreciate that.
How many Ignis Dragons does he have in his deck? Is that a 1 of or 3 of?
No idea, but you know what's gonna happen as soon as that card comes out in the game? I'm finally gonna globe something. Other than what I'm forced to globe when I lose pack v pack. But
how many globes do you have left?
Like 18 or something. I don't know.
We need to do 19. Or 18 pack v packs. I just need you to just throw them all.
You want me to wait? What if I open 18 Ignis Dragons? I'm just gonna spend it on all of them.
No, we got to do
animated Ignis Dragons.
We have to do all 18 pack openings before the next expansion.
Oh, come on, man. What else did I have? Oh yes, they remixed the dragon theme during the battle when we played Ignis Dragon, I think.
Please put and change the in-game music. I've been waiting so long for that to get updated. Oh, please.
Well, for me, it's mostly just the organ.
I mean, the newer levels, like the back alley level. Have you heard the music for the back alley
Yes,
stage?
I have. It's very good.
It's real good. Like, remix everything. Just make everything gooder.
I think most of them are okay, except for organ and sword. Sword's theme is also really boring. But that organ needs to go, man. It needs to go.
It definitely does. They can definitely do something. Like just put Sephiroth's theme in the background for the organ music level.
Yeah, I don't know if they can do that, but
hey, at this point, I'll take it. I'll take anything. Anything's fine.
Yeah. No, I think that's all my notes. Frankly, just cover outside of the game, inside of the game. So I guess to wrap things up, do you have anything else to say? And what are your overall thoughts on the episode?
No, I think we've covered everything that I really wanted to mention, and I'll say this: my overall thought about the show, the first episode, I'm really left wanting more.
Right. And
it's not a bad thing. It's how do I explain this? Like I said before, I want them to just lean in. Because if it's made for somebody who's like who they want to start playing Shadowverse, lean in, definitely lean in. Like go ham on the craziness. Because that gets them excited about the game and the show. They try the game out and they play the game, right?
Right.
For people who already play the game, just go bonkers with it, right? You don't have to be beholden to the rules of the game, right? Like,
right. That's never stopped anybody before.
Yeah, exactly. So don't ground yourself so much that if you break the rules of the actual game, that like you kind of like hit yourself on the wrist, right? Like no, just go full in, like full throttle. That's all I want, really.
Yeah, I think part of that is having cards in the show that aren't in the game. But yeah, I think we need an attack the moon moment, or an Ouroboros infinite attack moment.
Also, we need a character to stand on the side of a castle, and if the wind from their monster being destroyed would make them fall and die,
that was
ridiculous. We need that
moment. Ridiculous, man. Kaiba
but
doesn't want to lose.
But here's the thing: I watched that episode. What, like 10 years ago? And I still remember to this day because it's that bonkers. And my friends and I even had a conversation about it. I'm like, Kaiba is a punk.
remember the time where his dad gives him like $100 million, or no, he gives him $1 million, and he's like, turn this into $100 million in a month. He does it in like a week.
Crush souls. I manage a multi-million-dollar corporation. I do that every single day. Come on, man. Like, I want them to go that route. Just have fun with it, to be honest.
Yeah, I agree. I think they should definitely go all in. One thing, I guess, to wrap up my final thing is, I think the show so far, it's like a pretty mediocre pilot, but like you said, you want to have it expand as it goes along, right? Like stuff like characters definitely need to be developed for me to care about any of the conflicts. I feel like they jumped into the conflict before making the characters, making me not care as much. Explain the game a little better and just go full in on the camp. I feel like that would be good too. They did a little bit, like I said, with the sweating and the heavy breathing when they're losing, or how the guy literally got blown away. He like flew off into the stands of the stadium when he got hit. That was crazy. More of that. But yeah, just
these kids got hollow bones.
Yeah, make me care about the characters, man. I think that's the most important thing, frankly, to get me invested and make me want to continue watching the show. Outside of just the fact that it's fun to talk about it.
Yeah.
I guess one weird criticism I have, other than that, is that I don't know how I feel about having cards in the show that aren't in the game. Because I guess maybe in the next expansion they'll add them, and then people get excited about that. But it just feels weird that this is meant to get people in, and then they'll see the game and just like, where's my Ignis Dragon? You know, where's my Axe Pirate? I don't know how I feel about this issue.
I'm telling you, dude. Within the next expansion or two. In fact, I almost guarantee, considering this current expansion is following the storyline for in game, I can almost guarantee you next expansion is going to be the anime.
Like an anime expansion.
Yeah,
that would be
because I think we've already discerned the fact that the anime, the game, one expansion for the main story, one expansion off, one expansion for the main story, one expansion off, right? So I mean, this follows the trend as well. Timing is too perfect.
And by the time the next expansion comes out, most of the anime, if not all, would have been released already, right? So there's tons of cards you can make into cards in the game for real. Yeah, I mean, good things though. Even though I have criticism, I did have fun with it. I don't know if that's just because I play Shadowverse, so I can like spot all the little things and go like, "Ha, he played Latham." Maybe that's just my own bias, but I had fun with it anyway. It's just like, yeah, definitely some things to improve on for sure. And like I said, some really good things as well, like how they portrayed the battle itself, how the cards come to life when they can attack. Yeah, so mix of good things, mix of bad things. Just hope that it gets better and they do more character stuff. And like you said, I agree with you wholeheartedly here. Just make it insane.
Go bonkers.
Just make it crazy. Yeah, exactly. So I guess that's it, man. I've never recorded a video like this, so I don't know how to do an outro. I guess I'll just say the usual. You want to do my outro for me?
I'll do your outro.
Okay.
Right. Guys, thank you very much. Don't forget to hit the bell, subscribe, follow me on Twitter at Ignideus. Also join the Discord at whatever Ignideus' Discord is.
It's discord.gg/Ignideus.
Oh wait, sorry. Like if you did, still like it if you didn't like it, just because that's good for it's good for Igni.
Yeah.
And all the Patrons out there, thank you guys the most. Excuse me.
Let me go.
You guys are the best.
Screen. Yep.
Bam, got the patrons right there.
Yep.
The big dogs. Can we go back for just a moment to both of us?
All right.
Guys, in the comments below, please let Igni know that the background he has is far too red for all of creation.
You're complaining about this before we recorded. Now you're bringing it back.
Your dragon looks like it's bleeding
40
out.
minutes later.
it's bleeding out. It's so red.
It's my signature color. What do you want?
All right, guys, let Igni know in the comments below that is far too much red, and the dragon is already dead.
Leave a like if you think it's too red. Leave a like if you think it's not red enough. Leave a like if you think it's just the right amount of red. And, just leave a like, please. Anyway, see ya.
Take care, guys.